Good morning. This meeting of the Agricultural Labor Relations Board is called to order. I will first call the roll. Board Member Broad.
Here.
Board Member Flores. Just on mute. Board Member Hall.
Present.
Board Member Lightstone.
Present.
Wonderful. Thank you. Also present today from our staff for today's meeting is our assistant, Devika, who's here helping staff the meeting and responding to technical issues. We'll first have the open session portion of our meeting, and then prior to going into closed session, there will be an opportunity for public to comment on any portion of the meeting. Members of the public who have contacted the board either by email or phone and asked to be placed in the public comment queue will be called on in order received. If you did not previously contact the board and wish to make a public comment at the end of the meeting, you may do so in one of several ways. You can email staff at the email addresses listed in the meeting agenda, which is available on our website, alrb.ca.gov, or you can make a request in the Zoom chat function by either typing in that you would like to make a comment in the chat or raising your hand, and you will be placed in the queue. Please note that we ask that you use the chat feature only to indicate that you wish to make a comment, not actually make a substantive comment in the chat, as those will not be made part of the public record. We also ask that you provide your name and organization if applicable. This information will become a part of the official record of today's proceeding. If you wish to speak more than once, you may. Just please alert us and we will have your name placed back in the queue. If you're having technical difficulties when you're called up, please reach out to us via the Zoom chat function or email, and we will come back to you. We do have limited capabilities for managing participation during the meeting and during the public comment periods, so we're asking everyone who is not speaking to place their phones or Zoom on mute and wait to unmute until you are called to speak. These instructions are also available on our agenda, which again is posted on our website on the homepage. And from there, we'll go on to the other items in our open session. First, we have approval for the public meeting minutes from our last meeting on June 29th. May I have a motion from a member of the board to approve the minutes?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Oh, thank you. All those in favor, and that was Member Broad making the motion, Member Flores giving the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Minutes are approved. There is no chair's report today. We also do not have an oral report from the executive officer, although that report is posted on our website under the documents for today's meeting. Next, typically we have the litigation report. Todd, I don't believe we have a litigation report today. Looking at Todd.
I'm here. No, there's no litigation updates from the last meeting to report.
Okay. Next is then our general counsel report from General Counsel Julie Montgomery.
Good morning, everyone. I actually do have a couple of things to report since the last meeting. First of all, I am pleased to report that yesterday our general counsel program in our Salinas region finalized a settlement agreement involving a charges against Seventh Tree Farms, and these were three charges filed a little bit earlier this year, and the agreement holds that Seventh Tree has made unconditional offers of reinstatement to three charging parties and a discriminatee. And this actually happened shortly after the charges were filed. And they agreed to also offer them employment for the subsequent upcoming season. We've also reached an agreement that ALRB agents will distribute and read the noticing in the case twice. One reading will be done during the planting season around September of this year, and the other will occur during their harvest season. And this is a strawberry operation in Ventura County, so I'd assume harvest season is early spring. Is that right, Jessica? Yeah, okay. And we'll of course be posting and the notice and mailing. We're also going to conduct a 1-hour supervisor training for all of their supervisory personnel. And the company is compensating the charging parties and discriminatee for lost wages in the amount of $6,687. I also want to report that we received settlement checks in the Wrights Ranches cases out of our Visalia region, and our Visalia staff are working on distributing that to 5 workers. It funds to 5 workers in the amount of $17,174. We also have some outreach activities happening, including this past week, our staff provided a training presentation and participated in a Farm Worker Services Coalition meeting of Imperial County. Today, our staff will be on site at Todek Legal Center in Coachella and Riverside County to do outreach and provide any in-person assistance that's needed. Later this month earlier last month, I was looking at the wrong month here. Staff participated at an event with La Luz Center and their promotoras out of Santa Rosa, in which they did some tabling and distributed information to farm workers and in a retail center. We also have some upcoming training presentations. Tomorrow, our staff's going to provide a training presentation in person to the staff of La Familia Sana in Cloverdale, Sonoma County. On July 21st, our staff will be providing a training presentation in person to Indigenous farm workers at a community-based organization in Santa Paula, which is at a MyCop membership meeting, and that's in Ventura County. July 22nd, our staff will provide training in person to a promotora group called Las Luchadoras through the La Luz Center in Sonoma County. And then finally, we also have a training presentation scheduled for July 22nd, which is virtual, to some employees at the Jewish Family Services of the Desert of East Coachella Valley. So those are just some upcoming outreach events. And that concludes my report. Just want to thank all of our staff in the regional offices and general counsel program for all their hard work and being out there in the community and helping to establish and maintain our presence and expand our presence, as well as just plugging ahead to get our investigations completed and cases resolved.
Thank you very much. I'd like to echo those comments. That is a lot of outreach up and down the state. I am curious, especially when it's this time of year, I'm always thinking of our staff in the Indio area from a temperature standpoint, but hearing about our continued work with tabling at Todek, I'm wondering, are we seeing walk-ins of farm workers that are currently working, and if so, in what commodities, or is it those staff that are year-round but maybe not employed in agriculture at this time? I'm just curious if any member of the GC staff can comment on that.
Yes, I can comment on that. There is generally a lower amount of work available during the summertime. The intuition is accurate. And in terms of commodities, there are several still. There are raisins, the leftovers of the grape harvest, that are generally harvested on a wholesale basis. And then there's also okra. And then shortly thereafter, we'll start to see the planting for the fall season towards the end of the summertime.
Great.
Field preparations made in advance of that.
Just kind of curious about that. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's informative. Okay. Do any of my other colleagues have any other questions or comments for the General Counsel? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate the report and all of the work. Next, our next agenda item is agenda item number 7, our Division of Administrative Services report with our Chief of Administration, Brian Doherty. Brian.
Morning. I just have a couple of brief updates. We did close out the fiscal year on June 30th. So we are currently underway and working with the Department of General Services contracted fiscal unit to complete and finalize our books for fiscal year 21-22. That should be completed hopefully by the end of July, which will allow us to file our year-end financial statements. And at that point, I will have final fiscal year information to be able to share out to the board, hopefully for the August meeting. We're currently working to finalize all the liquidations and start the startup procurements and purchase orders that are required with the start of a new fiscal year. In addition, we've got a couple of facility projects that are kind of long overdue that are coming to fruition. We have our Oxnard new space that we've procured across the street from our existing office. This will give us our own dedicated space in the Oxnard region. We're hopeful that by the end of the month, we should have kind of our modular units finally being able to get installed in that office. We should be hopefully getting our cable and connectivity. So we're looking at early August that we should be able to start planning for a official move-in into the new space. So we'll be working closely with program as those dates are finalized. And in addition, we are beginning the planning stage for the remodel of our Visalia office. That's going to be scheduled to occur during the month of August, and these are renovation projects that we've kind of had on the schedule for probably about 3 to 4 years in the making. We've completed the Salinas project, and these are our last two major facility projects that are in the works. So I appreciate all of the work that goes on the GC side to kind of get ready for these projects. There's a lot of house cleaning and going through the records and trying to get us ready for those renovation projects. So kind of busy time on the facility side for admin, but we're looking forward to kind of getting these projects off of our plate. Happy to answer any questions that anybody may have on admin.
Thank you, Brian. I just want to say thank you to your staff as well as the GC staff, particularly in Visalia. I know that has been a challenge to try and figure out how to address the space needs, given available space, our capacity, all the various logistics, and it's been very complicated. So really appreciate your team continuing to work through it, take feedback from staff, and try and address those needs as much as possible, given some of the other constraints and duties that we have in trying to kind of handle space logistics within state service. And also big thank you to the GC staff too for coordinating. I know this is going to be a lot of logistical issues in August, but really appreciate all the flexibility and teamwork. So excited to see that office after the remodel. Do any of my colleagues have any other questions or comments? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. We do not have a legislative or regulatory report today. So we will now turn to public comment. Devika, can you look at, have we received any requests for comment in advance of the meeting?
We have received a request for comment from Pete Materino. So Pete, if you would like to unmute and to speak.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick comment. We were assisting some farm workers back in 2019 when they wanted to file some charges, and we did file the charges, but that's not, I don't want to talk about the charges and all that. What I wanted to talk about, this is over 2 years ago, and this is one of the things that the ALRB, to us anyway, in labor, that we've always had an issue with the amount of time it takes to resolve some of these things. And I know that a lot of things happen to try to get them resolved, but the big complaint was here on June the 30th, we went over to the Salinas office to try to get an update along with the workers to assist them. And there was only one person in the office. And that person had no knowledge about what it was that we were talking about. And the workers, you know, they take the time off wherever they're working to go to the ALRB office to try to get some kind of response on their or an update on the charges that were filed back in 2019. And they were not able to answer, or the person that was there was not able to answer any of the questions other than getting information from our workers or the workers that we went with. And like, how do we contact you? And so it was given to that person. And then later on, the following day, the workers did get a call from the ALRB from either Sacramento or Oxnard, and trying to go through the cases, and basically said that they were waiting for more information and so on. And like I said, it's been over 2 years. And then I just think that somehow when the workers are there, regardless if we're there or not, that they should get some kind of response as an update from a call from the individual that's there at the office, so they can hear it firsthand and stuff, instead of getting it from somebody else the following day, because the ALRB doesn't know if these individuals are going to be working the following day or what time they're going to be off and stuff. Anyway, that was just my comment as just the service to the workers when they come in to try to get updated information on the charges that have been filed back in 2019. Thank you.
Thank you. Davica, do we have anyone else in the public comment queue?
We do not, and we would like to remind anyone who wishes to comment that they can either use the Zoom feature to raise your hand in the chat or simply by unmuting.
Okay. I also want to thank Pete. Thank you for taking the time to make public comment. We appreciate the feedback. Okay, seeing no other requests for public comment, we will now adjourn into closed session. The board, after closed session, will come back for final announcements and then adjournment of the meeting as a whole. So thank you. We will now go into closed session.
Recording has started.
Thank you. The board has returned from closed session. We now have our final agenda item, which is announcements. The next board meeting will be Wednesday, August 10th. It will be a meeting in Salinas where the board will have an informational panel on housing. At this time, we do not believe a video conference or web participation will be available, but we are still working to see if that may be possible at the venue where the meeting will be. We'll also be having a Salinas open house reception on Tuesday, August 9th, where members of the public can meet the general counsel staff as well as the board. Additionally, the board has shifted its meeting schedule for the rest of this year in order to meet in a place that is more conducive to a larger public meeting. If members of the public wish to attend in person, that those new dates are listed on our website under the 2022 meeting schedule. And with that, this meeting of the ALRB is adjourned. Thank you.